you probably have ADHD. Not even clickbait, not even kidding, you probably have ADHD. I have ADHD, if you couldn't tell, by my generally manic behavior. And I just want to talk a little bit today about what ADHD is like and why you, yes you, the person watching this video, I know who you are, I know where you're at, I know where you live, you probably have ADHD just like me, and you can become just like me, which would be super fun, except for not really all the way. But I want to talk a little bit about what makes ADHD so good, what makes it so bad, why you probably have it. Again, you probably have it. I'm not kidding, you probably do, because a lot of people don't realize they have it. So let's just start out by talking about some symptoms of ADHD, how I realized that I had it. Well, one, I didn't even realize that I had it. This is probably really common for a lot of people. People around you notice you have ADHD because you go to parties and you talk to people and they realize you can't form two coherent sentences together, and they're probably thinking, man, this weirdo has ADHD. This guy's really bizarre. Like, how has he not seen a doctor for this? And the reason I hadn't seen a doctor for it is because nobody told me about it. It wasn't until my wife's family started talking about it that I was like, oh, I probably do have ADHD. And guess what? They were right, and I was right. I do have ADHD. And it's not all bad. It's pretty good, actually. So if you are somebody who has ADHD, you probably noticed a lack of ability to pay attention for a long period of time, but also the ability to hyper-focus on one thing for like hours at a time, like this piano back here. I can write music for like 6 hours straight in a row. I can record YouTube videos all the time because my brain, my weird, jumbled, ADHD-addled brain, decided that this is what it wants to focus on. It doesn't want to focus on being good at school or waking up early or fulfilling important obligations for the most part. It wants to focus on making music and making YouTube videos, which is cool because those are two things that don't make me any money. But I'm not complaining. I don't really want to complain. I don't want this to sound bitter because I actually do really like the way that my brain works. I like that I'm able to write music. I like that I make YouTube videos. I like that I get really hyper-fixated on board games. The phone that's recording this is sitting on top of 4 board games that I have. I have a collection of like 80. I own, my collection of board games is probably worth more than my car at this point. My car's not worth a lot, but the board games are worth a lot. So that's besides the point. So I just want to say that if you have an inability to focus, be also hyper-fixate on certain things, you probably have ADHD. If you're somebody who has a hard time sleeping, but when you do sleep, you sleep like a rock, you probably have ADHD. That's really common actually because your brain's just going nuts all day long. And then when it finally gets a chance to rest, when it finally quiets down, your mind's like, okay, finally we can sleep. The psychopath isn't awake anymore. And then you wake up and it all starts over again. I have that a lot. It's really hard for me to wake up. I woke up at like 8 a.m. this morning with my sweet darling wife who was getting ready to go to work. And I didn't even like finish showering. So I barely finished showering. Look at my wet hair. But I didn't really even finish showering stuff until like 11. That's not normal. That's definitely ADHD brain. But I want to talk a little bit about the positive sides of ADHD because I really do think there are a ton of positive sides of ADHD. One of them being that hyperfixation. I love my hyperfixation. I love that I'm able to just really focus and dive really deep into stuff. I love music, if you couldn't tell by the piano and my albums back here. All fantastic albums, by the way. Listen to all these albums and you will not regret it. The Beatles is pretty basic. A lot of people know them. But Modern Baseball and the Mountain Goats, certified bangers, every single song. But anyway, I love that I'm able to really intently listen to music and really focus on it and pick up on all the harmonies and the melodies and what different instruments are doing and the mixing and the mastering. I absolutely love that aspect of my brain. And I just want to, I want this place, I want this channel. It's not going to be a purely ADHD focused channel. That's not the goal. That's not what I'm doing here. I'm going to talk a lot about ADHD, but I'm just going to talk about other stuff as well while my ADHD is on full display, because my ADHD is always on full display because I have ADHD and you probably have ADHD too. That's what I'm guessing. If you're watching this video, if you're scrolling, if you found me in a YouTube short and there's the 200th YouTube short you watched today, guess what? You probably have ADHD. How do I know this? Because I scroll YouTube shorts and I watch way too much. I sit on my freaking YouTube Studio app and I refresh the feed to see if the number ticked up for the amount of views who have seen my stuff. And not a lot of people even view my stuff, but I cannot tear myself away because I have ADHD. You probably have ADHD as well. But like I said, it's not a bad thing. Now, if you do have ADHD, there's a couple things you can do to help yourself. One is just to recognize it and to have your friends call you out when you're expressing major ADHD energy. If you're being too crazy, too off the walls, and it's too much for them to say, hey, call me out for this. It's normal to me, but I don't think it's normal for everybody. Another thing you can do is go to a doctor and see if they'll put you on medication, which is surprisingly easy to get, despite the fact that it's a controlled substance. I take Adderall, but which is like a pretty normal ADHD medication. ADHD medication is really bizarre because you think it would calm you down. It doesn't. It's actually a stimulant. It lets your body and your energy catch up to what your mind's doing. So I actually really love my medication. It's not for everybody though. If you have ADHD and you take medication and you don't like it, that's totally fine. Everybody responds differently. I really enjoyed it though. So if you do think you have ADHD, get yourself checked out. Look at some medication. For me, it's been a lifesaver. I take Adderall right now, which is pretty good. Before I was taking a medication called Vyvanse, which in my opinion was way better, but it's like impossible to find. It was costing me and my wife like $400 a month, which is a lot of money. You gotta love the American healthcare system and how we price our drugs. But anyway, I digress. So we've talked about the good, the not so good about ADHD. We've talked about losing focus, like I constantly do. My mind is always just traveling from one topic to the next. That's why on this channel, on the Daily Davis, I want to talk a little bit about all these different subjects that I'm super interested in. You can get my really caffeinated energy that I have right now. The wild thing about being ADHD though is that caffeine actually, this is another thing, so if you notice this, you might have ADHD as well. Caffeine tends to have an inverse effect on people with ADHD. So caffeine really doesn't get me hyped up at all. I drink a decent amount of caffeine. I actually drink a lot less now, but I drink like Coke a lot. It actually doesn't even get me perked up. Energy drinks don't do that either. It almost like calms me down. Really common symptom of ADHD. Another thing about ADHD is it's actually hereditary. So if your dad has it or your brother has it, there's a really good chance you might have it. My oldest brother has it. His looks very different than mine. We both do the same thing. We procrastinate a lot. I meant to record this video like 4 days ago. Guess what? I didn't do it. I'm recording it now and hopefully it goes up today. But like I said, I'm probably just gonna get super distracted and this isn't gonna go up for another couple days, but I'm feeling really good today, so I think I might be able to do it. So if you are somebody who gets distracted, you procrastinate a lot, you can't stop yourself procrastinating, look into that. Another thing that's really common with ADHD is depression and anxiety. So I've got some issues there as well. A lot of people do. They're not always correlated, but I noticed that when I started getting treated for ADHD, a lot of my depression and anxiety issues kind of were easier. They didn't go away, but they got a lot easier. And so that's another great thing about knowing you have ADHD. I don't know how long this video is. I can't even see a timer. Like I said, I'm recording with my crappy phone, leaned up against a glass cup. Underneath it, I've got it on a bunch of board games. My crappy little background here. I was gonna set up my mic. You can see my mic here with the funny little sock on it, but I decided that the mic recording quality isn't very good, and I have like no space left on the hard drive of my computer, so it's not even gonna fit on there. So I'm just gonna post this raw straight from the upload. So please, if you do think you have ADHD, then comment down below or get checked out by a doctor if you're interested. Look up more symptoms online. There's much more reputable sources that can tell you about it. That's not just some raving mad lunatic that just sits around and makes YouTube videos all day. So please go get that checked out. If you know you have it and you can mitigate it, then it really does change your life. I really enjoyed that. This is real talk here. It really has been a life changer once I knew that I had it and I got some help for it. It's really helped me out a little ton. Also make sure you have a good support system in place, which I realize not everybody has. I'm really lucky. I've got a great family. I've got 5 siblings. They're all wonderful. I've got 2 of the most amazing parents in the world. My dad is a psychologist, so he's really able to help me out a ton. I've got a brother who's got ADHD. I've probably got 4 more brothers that have ADHD, but they don't realize it. I've got friends who got ADHD, but they don't realize it. But they all guessed I have ADHD. Like I said, you probably have ADHD. And then my last piece of support is I do have absolutely the greatest wife in the world. She is the sweetest person I've ever met. And I'm very glad that she puts up with, again, my ADHD-addled brain that I constantly have. So just in closing out the video here, I just want to say, please subscribe to this channel. We're at 163 subs right now, which is pretty dang good. I'm actually very pleased with the growth that we're doing. It's been super exciting. We've only been posting for a month. This channel is going to start becoming a lot more focused, I think. Well, as focused as I can do with, again, my ADHD-addled brain. I don't know if you heard, but you might... Oh, wait. I don't know if anybody's told you this, but you probably have ADHD. So I would get that checked out. But anyway, I'm going to start uploading these videos for Daily Davis. There should be like 3 episodes out on my channel right now. I'm going to be recording one of these every day, just a quick video where I talk about whatever the heck I'm going to talk about. My next 2 videos are going to be about 5 Nights at Freddy's lore, and the next one's probably going to be about music, more specifically modern baseball, one of my favorite bands. And then if I get a lot of subscribers, I'm going to talk about my other favorite band because nobody knows about them and everybody should know about them. So anyway, please subscribe to my channel. Please like the video. I want this to be a place where we can talk about ADHD, people who suffer from ADHD, people who have it with them. We can talk about the good and the bad, and it can be a place where we have I can be a creator that's kind of embraces that aspect of myself without like making it my whole gimmick. I don't want that to be my whole gimmick, but I do want that to be part of my personality because it is part of my life. So anyway, thank you so much for watching. You're all real ones. I've got some awesome subs out there who watch me live stream. I live stream occasionally. I just do kind of whatever I want. I'm probably going to play Hollow Knight today, so if you want to watch that, please check in. If you came from YouTube Shorts, great to see you. If you're somebody I know personally from home, also great to see you. You get a really like hyped up Davis today, but this is how I usually am in my head. I'm just letting my outside energy match my inside energy. But super great to see you guys. We'll see you later tomorrow for the next Daily Davis. See ya. Bye.